This first news story comes to us from The Verge, written by Tom Warren. Microsoft lays off 1,900 Activision Blizzard and Xbox employees. Microsoft is laying off 1,900 employees at Activision Blizzard and Xbox this week. While Microsoft is primarily laying off roles at Activision Blizzard, some Xbox and ZeniMax employees will also be impacted by the cuts. The cuts work out to roughly 8% of the overall Microsoft gaming division that stands at around 22,000 employees in total. The Verge has obtained an internal memo from Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer that confirms the layoffs. It's been a little over 3 months since the Activision Blizzard and King teams joined Microsoft. As we move forward in 2024, the leadership of Microsoft Gaming and Activision Blizzard is committed to aligning on a strategy and an execution plan with a sustainable cost structure that will support the whole of our growing business. Together, we've set priorities, identified areas of overlap, and ensured that we're all aligned on the best opportunities for growth. As part of this process, we have made the painful decision to reduce the size of our gaming workforce by approximately 1,900 roles out of the 22,000 people on our team. The gaming leadership team and I are committed to navigating this process as thoughtfully as possible. The people who are directly impacted by these reductions have all played an important part in the success of Activision Blizzard, ZeniMax, and the Xbox teams, and they should be proud of everything they've accomplished here. We are grateful for all the creativity, passion, and dedication they have brought to our games, our players, and our colleagues. We will provide our full support to those who are impacted during the transition, including severance benefits informed by local employment laws. Those whose roles will be impacted will be notified, and we ask that you please treat your departing colleagues with the respect and compassion that is consistent with our values. Looking ahead, we'll continue to invest in areas that will grow our business and support our strategy of bringing more games to more players around the world. Although this is a difficult moment for our team, I'm as confident as ever in your ability to create and nurture the games, stories, and worlds that bring players together. Phil. Alongside the layoffs, Blizzard President Mike Ibarra has decided to leave the company. As many of you know, Mike previously spent more than 20 years at Microsoft, and now that he has seen the acquisition through at Blizzard as Blizzard's president, he has decided to leave the company, says Microsoft Games Content and Studios President Matt Booty in an internal memo. Microsoft plans to name a new Blizzard president next week. Alan Adam, Blizzard's chief design officer, is also leaving the company. As one of Blizzard's co-founders, Alan has had a broad impact on all of Blizzard's games. His influence will be felt for years to come, both directly and indirectly, as Alan plans to continue mentoring young designers across the industry. There's a lot going on over there. Apparently, Blizzard's previously announced survival game has also been canceled as part of these changes. So there's a new IP that was in the works, or at least a new survival game.
Yep.
Canned. What a wild January we've had between Riot Games, Google, Discord, Twitch, Unity, eBay, and others laying off. That's just a number here, or a sentence here from this article. I knew there had been a few, but I didn't realize that many. Riot Games, Google, Discord, Twitch, Unity, eBay. Lots of online/gaming adjacent companies, gaming and gaming adjacent.
I'm sure we haven't seen the end.
How crazy. Like in January, there's been so many, like I feel like I saw a number and we've almost caught up to how many, like the total of layoffs in 2023, we're like catching up already in the first month
just
here.
January.
Yeah, absolutely wild. Yeah, how, like, this is one of those things where makes sense with an acquisition. It doesn't make sense. It is typical with an acquisition, I should say, because I experienced this when I worked for a company a couple of years ago that was bought out, and then they had me train my successor without me knowing. Actually, I was kind of already in the process of training my successor, but they had me finish, and then they fired me because there was a duplicate position. So it's like one of those things, like, okay, it happens often because they don't need to pay two people to do the same job, but I don't know, it just seems wild. Like, is there really that much overlap between separate divisions too? Like, to me, that seems like a big number, especially when it's like they're all dealing with different IPs. Like, yeah, they're all under the Xbox umbrella, but
you hit the nail on the head. In any other company, right? This would make sense. However, now that we're dealing in a creative field, which means that these people are multi-disciplined, so you could really shuffle them back and forth between different projects. Let's start at the top. Microsoft is a multi-trillion-dollar company. They didn't have to cut anybody from anything if they didn't need to, right?
Yeah.
Or if they didn't want to. Secondly, like I said, this is a creative endeavor. Microsoft owns dozens of studios at this point. Dozens. And all of the layoffs only came from Blizzard at this point. You're telling me they couldn't figure out a way across all the dozens of studios that, mind you, at this point, outside of Indiana Jones, we don't know really what anybody is working on because it's taken them all so long. So you're telling me none of these other studios could use a boost in manpower to maybe get these games out the door a little quicker? Honestly? What are we doing?
Yeah, no, it's like there had to, you'd think there'd been something these people could have been doing, you know, like
there absolutely was.
With so much more, again, IPs and projects on their plate, like they're going to need the manpower, right? And even if the person wasn't needed, like maybe they were working as a sound designer and they weren't needed there, like, all right, well, maybe they're hurting in another area and that's sound design adjacent or something. Like, I don't know. It just seems like they've already had issues. They've had problems putting games out. Xbox has had problems because like both with quality and just taking a long time because it's hard to tell. Is it because their games are too big or because their staff is too small? Maybe a little of both. Obviously,
also no oversight, no real oversight from Phil. So.
And so it just seems like wild to be like, hey, like there was a whole year, 2022, where we didn't put out a single game because it was all hands on deck and we still weren't able to like figure things
get
out. Anything out. Like, you know, things got delayed out of 22 to 22. But then here they are acquiring a bunch of new people and new employees who should be able to get things done on time and in a timely manner. And then they're like, nah, get rid of them. It's like, wait, what?
Wait, what?
I don't know. Like, obviously I've never owned a gaming company, a developer or ran one, anything like that. But
you've also never had trillions of dollars of capital either. That could easily support all these people. So, yeah. Like I said, if it was maybe like a, I don't know, like an indie studio or maybe like a AA studio or a publisher or something like that, like I can maybe, you know, find somewhere to make an exception for it. But no, dude, I think at this point they are the biggest game publisher.
They would have to be. I would be shocked if they weren't.
Right. Yeah, there's too many things that they could have had these people doing, and that tells me something foul happened at Blizzard too, because why would
two big people left
left that were supposed to be there for the foreseeable future to help with that transition? Now they just dipped. What happened? What?
Sorry.
Did you get yourself with your own noise?
No.
Did it backfire on you?
Someone just subbed to our channel and it made this wild sound in my headphones and it scared me to death. It sounded like a. Thank you, Lindsay, for this sub. I appreciate it. I forgot I had alerts set up on the podcast. I thought I had them turned off during the podcast.
Are you gonna be okay?
I just had a freaking heart attack. I can't.
I was gonna say you need to take a couple real quick.
I can't wait to watch this back and see my face. Like my heart, left my body. It was a straight up like I was like, I'm dying. This is it. This is the end. The Lord's taking me home. All right, we're good. Thank you very much for that. Thank you for the sub. I appreciate it. Which, by the way, if you have we'll talk about it later in the ad. All right. What I want to say about this news story though is it's so wild to me too, like how and I understand there's protocol and how they handle these things. I'm sure, I would hope, but obviously first the memo goes out and apparently the people who are getting fired didn't know yet if they were getting fired, which is, I mean, it's evident.
That's usually how it goes.
That's usually how it goes. But I retweeted this on when 25th when this all happened. Jason Schreier had tweeted, "These Xbox layoffs are such a mess that staff across Activision Blizzard are texting me to try to find out if they might be impacted. Nearly 2,000 job cuts, and people now just have to wait around to see if they're part of the bloodbath." Like literally,
could you imagine?
Jason Schreier is a journalist. Like he has nothing to do with Xbox or Microsoft at all, and like not connected at all other than just being a journalist. And they're texting him, be like, "Is it my division? Is it my, am I getting cut?" I'm like, I couldn't imagine that. Like to be there at Activision Blizzard or at Xbox or wherever, just sitting there, just waiting, just kind of twiddling my thumbs, be like,
and how do you expect them to get work done?
Yeah, exactly. They're just like sweating all day. Like can't focus on
I'm
work.
not doing no work. What? This also reminds me, real quick, just in a quick aside, but it's related. When Riot let go of all those other people, Riot Games, and everybody was talking about, the severance package they got was so generous. They got 6 months of salary, blah blah blah. Bro, I lost my job. I would rather have my job than that cushy severance package that they gave me. I don't care how good the package is. It still means I got fired. Which means that this is going to run out at some point. I would rather not take any of this and have the continuous stream of income that I had before. And that is crazy. That people were like,
your job title, like it could take a long time to find a new job. I mean,
right?
It could take 6 months to find a new job, right? And
then what? Now I'm out of money.
Yeah, I've burned through that severance package and all my savings, and like now what? Oh, thanks, Hophead Ed. He clipped that out. That's great. I'll have to watch that later. my reaction to almost dying.
But yeah, I don't know what the motivation is behind Microsoft doing this. I feel like that was a really boneheaded move. But then again, we aren't executives and we aren't beholden to shareholders like, most capitalistic system businesses are, But
yeah.
Yeah, it was just unfortunate. I'm really upset about it, and I really hope that everybody who was affected is able to bounce back from this. I know it's going to be tough because a lot of people are getting laid off in this industry and across tech across the board. So yeah, I mean, best of luck.
Even IO Interactive, I think they had cuts last week.
Yeah,
and I just saw today. Oh, who was it today? They canceled a game. They canceled Deus Ex, a new Deus Ex game, and they I think they're shutting down, or they like
IO. They're shutting IO down.
No. Who makes Deus Ex?
IO.
No.
Oh no, they make Hitman.
Montreal. Who is
Square?
it?
Eidos
Montreal. I think either they're. I can't remember if it. I need to look it up before I get it wrong. But it's either they had major cuts or they're shutting down. But yeah, I saw that today. Like there's big.
They're shutting down Eidos. You know how old Eidos is?
Don't quote me on it. Hang on. Don't quote me on it. We're gonna start getting.
Eidos is like. Wow.
Embracer Group reportedly cancels Deus Ex video game as layoffs. Okay, so just layoffs. So major layoffs at Eidos Montreal, and they canceled the game. So they're like, nope, we're not doing Deus Ex. Major layoffs.
Embracer was the one, refresh my memory, that bet everything on a $2.5 billion deal with the Saudis, right?
I believe so. Yeah. And then basically they've just, all these game studios they own, they're just like, delete.
And they're still going with this. They haven't learned anything. They're still shutting stuff down.
Embracer Group has been aggressive. This is an article, by the way, by George Yang over at IGN. I just randomly Googled, and it's very helpful to get my facts straight on this. Embracer Group has been aggressively shutting down its studios ever since its rumored $2 billion deal with the Saudi-backed Savvy Game Group reportedly fell apart. So the deal fell apart.
Yeah.
So they're trying to get a $2 billion deal. That's what. Okay. And then they.
No, but honestly,
so
like,
down.
Screw them for playing with people's livelihoods over something you didn't even have concrete.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yep.
What are you doing? Because you knew you were gonna be okay. You thought it was okay to play with people's livelihoods. It's coming back to get you in one way or the other. There won't be an Embracer Group, maybe, I don't know, but something's coming back to get them for that. You don't just get to do something like that and walk away scot-free.
Yeah, I don't know.
But but circling back, man, I really feel.
I just hope.
I was gonna say I just really feel for the Microsoft and Blizzard employees who got hit by this. That absolutely sucks. And I think Microsoft is making a real big blunder here. I really think they could use these bodies to be put in places where they can excel. So
yeah. And I really hope these people can get back on their feet and find some jobs. But at the same, like we were just saying though, like so many companies are doing layoffs. That's the thing. Like the game studio, like community is so tight knit. Like when these layoffs happen in the past, immediately like a hashtag comes out like, oh, if you're looking for work, just check out this hashtag. Here's all the companies who are, but it's like when everyone's doing layoffs, it's like, well, where do you go at that point? Like you start your own indie studio, basically. Like that's what you gotta do. Or you
start your own studio, or if your skills are transferable, you go to another field. You know, you go to engineering, you go to design, you go.
Yeah,
you got to get out of games.
Yeah,
which sucks because a lot of people's dream is to make games, but here we are.
Here we are. I hate that everyone's making fun of me in the chat now because I posted that clip of me getting spooked.
Oh, yeah, don't feel too good, huh?
Garrett's usually spooked, so it checks out. All right, that's enough of that. No, it's okay. All right, I think that's it for that news story. Now let's check out this next. Just fantastic. Video games are just doing so good right now, you know?
Video games are cool, and sometimes video games suck.
Thank you so much for watching that clip from our podcast. Remember, if you want to watch the whole episode, the full episode, link will be in the description below. You can click on that and check it out. We got listener questions. We got more news segments. We got what you playing. We got a lot of fun things. So yeah, more than just the news. There's a lot more to the show that you should go check out. So remember, click that link in the description. Check out that full episode.